In this video, we'll be learning how to create a product visualization of a water bottle advert in Blender. So the first thing we're going to do is to quickly go into our view, and in our viewpoint, we were going to go into the front view. This will enable us to get in our reference to be straight whenever we get it inside our 3D viewport. So I'll go into my add, or you can use Shift A, and in Shift A you go down to where you have images and you have references here, and when you add a reference you can be able to select the reference. So if you have a reference anywhere in your system, you can be able to actually get it from there. So load it, and I would like to bring it to be flat on this red line. This is the red line, the flat line is actually the floor, that red line that you're seeing there. So right now I would like to go into my quad view. So the quad view, you can get it from here, area and quad view, or you can use Ctrl Alt Q, and it will enable you to see this from the top view, from the front view, the right view, and also the perspective. So I would like to use this to model right now. Now I'll also go into my Z mode, my wireframe modes. This will enable me to be able to see through this particular object. So I'll select this and delete it, and I'll press Shift A and add a circle. So when I add a circle, my circle is here, so I'll go closer to it and scale down a bit to assume the size of this particular object. So I'll enter into edit mode, and I'll press, for now I'm going to press F. Later I'm going to work on this thing on the floor, that's the bottom of it. So right now I would like to just drag it up in object mode. Let me go back to my object mode and drag it up a bit to somewhere here. So let's look at this from here. Enter into edit mode, and with edit mode, if you look at this, let's see if it has the face. Okay, it already has a face. So I'm going to do E, make sure it's locked on the X-axis, on the Z-axis. So bring this up. So I'm going to go up. So the fastest way for me to do this, I can just keep on extruding and jumping this part that goes inside. So I'll just stop here and jump this part and go up to this one. So I'm going to come back to it. It will be easier for me to walk that way. So go, stop there, jump that one, then stop there, jump that one, go on. So here you're going to scale down, go up, scale down. We're using S to scale. Press S to scale down. Let's scale out a bit. E, go up, and S to scale in. E to go up, S to scale in, then E to go up again, and S to scale in here. I'd like to use this to go down a bit, scale out a bit here. Then I'll go E again and scale in, bring it down, out. Then E again, come up here. Then I'm going to still jump this one too, and I'm going to jump this. Now we are not seeing the inside of this, so we are not going to just pay much attention, but I'm just going to do a few things there. Okay, I'm going to stop here. So for the cover, I'm going to quickly do something for the cover. I'm going to press Shift D. When I press Shift D, it will duplicate this and I can move it out. If you actually go back to your solid mode, you see that it already has a cover here and it has this new one. So I can press P and separate by selection. This will enable me to create a separate mesh that is different from this one. So this one is now a separate mesh you can move around. So the reason why I did it is so that I can get the actual size. So now if you look at this, the cover has the origin point at the bottom here, so I would need to bring it back to where it was before. So I'll quickly go into this mode. I'm going to enter into the edit mode, press it, select everything, and drag it down until it goes back to meet its origin. So look at the origin, that yellow thing there. So look at that. So we'll have this. So it's at the center right now. Let me view it from here so you actually appreciate what I'm doing. So this is the object, look at it there. So you want it to be exactly at this point. Then you go back to object mode and now you drag it up. So you can see now that yellow dot, the origin, the center of origin is now going with it. So this will enable us to do some few things later. So when I scale right now, I can easily scale this out and it will actually be in the center. So I think when I moved it, it went out of alignment, so I'm going to balance it back again somewhere here, scale it in. Okay, so enter into edit mode and select it. Let's go back, go into your wireframe mode again, and I would like to bring it up to this place. Enter into edit mode, E, bring it down, scale out, then E, bring it down, scale out a bit, just a bit, then E, bring it down like that. I'd like to also add a loop here by pressing Ctrl R and clicking. So right now I have the cover here. So I'm going to go ahead to save this work, and I already have one I've worked on before, so I'm just going to save this as water bottle 2. So I'm going to save that and go ahead to select this here. So I'm going to go back to the main bottle, enter into edit mode, and I'll go down here. So let's start with this. So come in here, press Ctrl R, add a loop cut, 2 loop cuts. So when you press Ctrl R, it will give you 1. If you move your mouse, or if your mouse scroll, if you move forward, it will give you 2. If you move it, it will give you 3. So we just need to click to accept it. You can still move it, but click a second time and then scale it inside. Then go for the next one, 2, click twice and bring it in. So this is a bit faster. When you're modeling, you want to learn skills that will enable you to model very fast. Put this, Ctrl R, move forward, click again, S to scaling. Again here, click again, then S to scaling. So we'll have that there. Then come in here to click. Now this one you can scale out. S to scale out. So we'll have this here. So we have the entire part of this bottle. So the next thing I want to do is to go out of this quad view, Ctrl Alt Q, and let me look at my model here in solid mode. Push it back a bit and see what I have. So let's work on this a bit and see how we can fine tune it. So first go into my modifiers and add a bevel modifier on this one, and I can auto smooth, and let me bring this down and increase it a bit, increase this one. So Ctrl A to apply the scale in case the thing is out of proportion. Click on this one, apply your bevel on it. So let's see if bevel will solve the problem that we have here. Let's auto smooth and let's bring this down and take it up again. Take this up. I think we have something here, so we'll have that there. So I will just go ahead to finish up with this. So select the bottom here. I think we're going to go back to the Z mode again and enter back into the quad view. Let's finish up the bottom of it. So we're going to press A, go down, scaling, A, go in, scaling, scaling. So you go in by moving your mouse closer. So we'll have this here. So with this now, if you go back here, you will see we have something very interesting right here. So the next thing we want to do is that we want to create these things here. So to create that, I will quickly want to use a very simple mesh. I'm going to use this, and let me do it this way. I'm going to scale it down. I'll select this, and let me look at this. Press E to scale it up like this. Now I would like to go out from this view, scale this out. So let me select this and press H to hide it, so I will be looking at what I'm doing here. So I want to do something like this, and then make it straight like this. So enter into edit mode and put 2 loop cuts and push this in this way. Select this once, rotate on the Z axis, on the X axis, and also rotate on the X axis. Okay, so we'll have something like this. So I'll quickly add a subdivision modifier to this to have something like that, and smoothen it. Ctrl A to apply my scale, and I think I will go for 2. Alright, so I think I have something good here. So I will check this, and I think it will do the job for me. So I will just enter into the mode and scale this to give it to be a bit stronger or thicker. Press Alt H to bring back my box here. Select this, and I'm going to just quickly bring it closer here. So select this one and make sure it's in the center here, at the center. The cursor is still at the center. If it's not at the center, you're going to press Shift C to bring the cursor back to the center, and then select this one, press Shift S. Shift S, hold it, and say selection to cursor. Let's do that. But before we do that, let's parent this to this one. Control P, you select the cover, and then hold Shift, select this, Control P, and keep transform. So this will enable us, when we move this, all of them will move together. So we want to align this to make sure it's in the center. So I'm going to press Shift S and click on that. So it's now at the center here. So this will enable us, when we add a curve, we're going to press Shift A, add a curve. The curve, we're going to use it to actually make this thing to go around this particular one, so we can create this illusion of a sort of depth in here. So I'll select this, and I'll go ahead to, I already have this here, so I'm just going to go ahead to add an array modifier, and also add a curve modifier there. So in the curve, I'm going to select the bezier here. So the bezier will, let me change this to go to the last. Let's try this out. Okay, so it's happening, but it's actually happening out inside it. So I'm just going to select this and scale it. Let me enter into this mode and select this. I want to grab it and bring it out. I'm moving it out actually. So this is the center of origin out here. So that's the reason why it's behaving that way. So I can just bring it in. Let me bring it out here. Bring it out. So then I'm going to rotate. Enter into edit mode, and I will try to rotate it this way. So okay, so I have this. So let me push it in. Go back again. Rotate. Okay, I need to get it to very close. So put it in more. that extent, this is okay. So let's go around and see if they are all inside it. So if you want it to be bigger, you can just scale it out. And, I think I have this. Scale out a bit. Apply. Okay. So we'll have this here. So now I'll select this, and oh, I think I have more than I need. So I'm going to remove one of it. So I have 3. Okay, you don't have 4. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to reduce this and increase this. Okay, so I have up to 7 now. Okay, let me make it up to 8. Make it up to 8 and reduce the frequency to somewhere here. Okay, I think this is okay. So I'm going to select this and this and move them. Press M, move them to, I'll call it bottom. So now with the bottom, if you look at it here, you can see here in the outline, you can actually make it invisible. But before we do that, we're going to select this and add a new modifier called boolean. The boolean is used to copy things. So if I select the boolean, I'm going to quickly select this and go ahead and select this particular shape. So once you select, look at what happens here. When you select this and press H, let's go back again and be sure you actually select the wrong thing. Let's name this. We're going to name it from here. I think from here, click here and call this my bottom cut. Alright, select this and go in here to the modifiers, select bottom cuts. Okay, so we'll have this here now, and select here and hide it. Okay, so let's select this, and if you look at now, there is actually an effect there, but it's not happening, so we're going to use fast. So sometimes you apply it and it doesn't work. You have to exchange this, so depending on whether it works on your own or not. So we have something like this now. So if it's not smooth in your own, you can add I think what I have here is already a bevel, so we can add the subdivision modifier if your own is not very smooth. So okay, I think my own is already smooth, so adding that will not even be better. So let me take it up to 2 and push it to the first. So I think it's even not so good for this, so I think I will just leave it out. I think my design is okay like this, so I'm going to work with it like this. So in case you have a problem, you can use that to solve the problem. So I have this now. If I'll press Alt H to bring this back. So if this is not big enough, you can always scale it up however you like. Scale it up however you like, and you get something even much more deeper. So right now I'm just going to go ahead to make this not to be viewed in the viewport and also not to be rendered. So I can't render it and I cannot view it. But before I do that, also remember to parent it. So select this and select this and select this one as the last one and press Ctrl P and keep transform. So this will enable you if we begin to move this later, alright, so that all of them will move as one. So right now I will just turn it off, but if we duplicate this, we will need to bring all of them together as one. So now let's go into the texturing part of this. So we're going to first create our normal texture. So I'm going to go into my material viewport, and I would like to create a plane as my floor for the meantime. So select this, and I'm going to add I think I already have a material there, so I'll select that material and that material there. So I just clicked here to access that material and selected that. I'll change this to my bottle. So my bottle now will like to go into my shading and click on the shaders here So in my shader here, I will have the principal shader by default. So what I want to do right now is just to go down here and change this to transmission 1. Now to see the effect of this, if I to see the effect of this fully, you'll go into the render properties and turn on your ambience, your bloom, your screen space, and also the refraction here. Now go back into the materials here, go down and turn on this screen space here. So you have this here. So when you do that, you actually see is having this glass material, so but you can't see through it. So to be able to see through it, you need to change this to about 1.5, and you have something here, and I think here should be alpha clip, sorry. And remember, we are not yet in the rendered mode, so we'll enter into rendered mode and put up some other features. We'll be able to actually see through it properly. So but we already have a sort of glass material here. So, and also we will take down the roughness a bit to somewhere here. I think just somewhere there. So I'll just go ahead to add. I already have. I'm going to still add the world texture. So for now, I'm going to just put this as my cover and change this to, I have a green thing there. Green thing. So you can pick up this color with this. Just click and then you use the eyedropper tool and pick up whatever color you want. So I would also like to bring it down to be a bit shiny, like that. And somewhere here is okay. So I'm going to save that work. Right now I want to be able to put this here. So but the one I want to use one that is a bit transparent, that has some transparency on it. So I'll quickly go into, I'm going to design 2 actually. So first of all, to design your texture, we're going to use Inkscape for our design. So I'm going to just go to Inkscape here. But for me to be able to use an Inkscape, to guide me on what I'm going to do, I'm just going to first go into edit mode, selecting this, go into edit mode. I will select here. So hold Control, double click on this, or Alt, double click on this to select this part where our listing will be. So I have this here. But before I do that, let me do something here. I'm going to put Control R, put 2 loop cuts here. So this enables me to press T to bring this out, so that I will have additional loops, so that whenever I put my textures, it doesn't begin to enter into these places here. So it's a way of being able to segment this to make sure that the textures do not malfunction later. So I will select this again, put Alt, double click on this, and I'm going to call this, I'm going to create a new texture, new, and call this my label. So my label, I'm going to go ahead to assign it this particular one here. So here I'm going to select this and go into my UV editing here. My UV editing, while still selecting one of the vertices here, we are going to go into UV here and say, that's edge, go to edge and say maxim. Now when you maxim, it will change to black or red. This enables you, when you unwrap this, it will unwrap properly. So still select your face, double click, press U and unwrap. So once you do that, if you didn't do that, it might unwrap and all the things will not work well. So for example, let me show you this. If I double click here and Alt U and unwrap, you see that the way it actually comes in. So this would have happened to this one if we did the same thing on it. So we can just do U goes in straight. So the reason why we do this is that we want to use this to create a label. So I'm going to just rotate that, press R to rotate this. I'm going to press R90 to make sure it's actually straight. I will bring it down to this place. So right now we can be able to export this UV. Alright, so we'll call it the UV. It's a way of being able to wrap two-dimensional objects around three-dimensional objects, or two-dimensional pictures around three-dimensional objects. So let me see here. I will try to use the UV here and export my UV, and let me go into my textures here and call this my UV bottle or label. Let me copy this and save it. So right now I can just go into this place and click here, file. I'm going to import that. So I would like to view this, right click and view this in large icons. So if you look at it, this UV label, see how it comes in. So I'm going to click on that, open this and import it here. Now this will guide us when we start designing. So it comes in, the entire thing is transparent. So anything I design on this will, I can easily work on it later. So I'm just going to, in fact I'm going to just leave it as big as that. So the first thing I'll do, I'll click on this and I will select a rectangle. So Inkscape is an open source software. You can download it, it's free, so and it can be able to create something very awesome. So I'll click and drag this to cover this particular shape here. So I have this. So this guides me on how this thing will look like when I'm done. So I won't be guessing the size or the length of the texture I'm going to use. So I will select here now, and if you look at here, the place is rounded. So if you look at here, you can just snap it. So if you want to create a rounded shape, you can use that, but then take it up. You just click and drag it, it will be straight. So right now I want to create something here. I want to create the blue parts. Okay, so let me just go ahead and get my blue color. I think I have to change my, okay, let me go to object and fill and stroke, and it's going to get me this part here. So I can be able to select this, and I'm just going to drag this out here to get a blue color there. So I have a blue color now. Let me go up more. You want to get a different tint of it, or a different grade of it, you can be able to actually do that. So I will drag this back a bit. So I would like to use, I think the name of the water we are using today in this our design is Dasan. Okay, Dasani. So I would like to just design something here. So click on the text tool here, click, and I'll say we're going to design something different. We're going to call this Aqua. Let me drag this out, just increase the size. I'm going to call this Aqua Pure. Aqua, okay, let's say Rafa. We're going to use this here, and I would like to bring this to somewhere here. Cut this out. I would like this to be a second one down here. So I'm going to have Aqua Rafa. So to change the text style, you can select this, use it to select inside, press Ctrl A, and you can change your text from here to whatever you want it. So I'm going to use this Amiri here, and also select this one, click on that with your text tool, press Ctrl A to select all of it, and I will still use that other one, that's Amiri here. So I will select this and bring this up here and make this to be white, and push this here. Take this, make this smaller, and white too. So I would like to Control C, Control V, bring this down to here, and I will write table water. You can drag this here. Push it down a bit. I would like to change the text of this to something just bold. Just make it smaller. Select this, click and drag to select this, and press Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and drop this somewhere here. So this will enable us, when we start wrapping this around, it will be in equilibrium. So we can select this all now, and we're going to export this like this. So I'm going to go File and go Export. You can also save it, okay, so you don't lose it. So go to Export, and right now you make sure it's in selection, and you click here and go to where you have that design. So I have here texture, let me call this my label 1, and click on save. Alright, then I'm going to do the second one. The second one, I'm going to select this and delete this, select this one and also delete it. And okay, sorry, I'm going to use this one. So but before I use that, I will select this one and delete this, select this, bring it back here, and I'm going to do something here. I'm going to select this and make sure in the fill that the shape is there but it's invisible, because if you remove it, it will not be able to carry this size. Okay, so you have to allow the shape to be there. So go into your fill and make sure there is no color on your fill. So it's there but it's not there. So select from here for all your text, and we're going to use blue color for it. So let's go for a blue. Just drag this and drag this back like that. So you can drag this one back to get something blue. So we'll have this. So we're going to have the blue color there. So you can then click from outside here to select all of it, both the invisible rectangle and the visible one. So I'm going to use this export. So export this, and if you look at now how it appears here. So click here, and when we click there, you see the label 1 there. So I would just like to select this and call it label 2. So I'm going to save this and just drop it down there. Okay, so I have this here now. So quickly now I will go back to Blender. So in Blender, I would like to import my image. So I'll go to Open. So I'll first start with the simple one. So go your textures, wherever you have your textures. So I'll have label 1. So I'm going to just add label 1. So if you look at now, I can just press S. Let's go into our material mode, so we'll be seeing what's happening here. Go into this place and go into base color. Add an image texture. Go into Open and add this texture also here, label 1. So it comes in here. You make sure you add it here from this place here, and then also here. So press A, S and Y, SY to scale it on the x-axis, on the y-axis to make it taller. So if you look at now, it's meant to be, it's upside down, so rotate. You can just press R 180 to rotate it 180 degrees, so you have something like this now. So what very interesting. So I have this. I can always rotate this to get my aquarafa at the front here. So I have this design here. So the next thing I want to do is to create the one that is transparent. So I'm going to just quickly bring out this thing here and select this one, press H to hide this, press H to hide this. I'll select all of this. So you can just click and drag, select all of it, and press Shift D to duplicate, and then select this one and just duplicate this to this place. So I have two of them right now. So remember, we have the same material, so we're still going to work on the materials. We're going to add our HDR textures later. So I'll go into this and press Alt H to bring back all of them again. So select this, and remember this bottom quartz. So select them, you can hide them still, and you still have your, let me push this down, so you still have your shapes, you know, and everything cut. So select this one, and I'm going to select this. So we have the label one, so we're going to turn this into label 2. So I'm going to click on the 2 here for this second one here. So click on 2, you can just go in there and call it label 2, and we're going to go into here, click here and select the label 2 here for this one. So this one is different because we have clicked, this one is different from this one here, so we'll have that one there. So you can just quickly go in here, and you can still change it if you want to. Just click it here, it doesn't really matter. If it's not aligned properly, that's when you need that. So we'll have this one with a transparent background coming in here. So right now, let's go into the shading so we can make this look good. So click on shading here, and in my shading, first thing I will do is that I'm going to select this first one, and in the label, make sure that let me try to reduce the roughness here. I think this should be good. So for this one, I'm going to remove this from here and bring it up, shift this out. I'm going to add a new shader, so I'm going to press Shift A, go into shader. I'm going to use an add shader, drop this here. So, and this will enable me to add that transparent shader on this particular one. So if you drop it here, it should be able to overlay on it. So we'll have something like this now. So make sure that this is transmission should be 1. Okay, so we'll have that there, and let me try to double it like this. Okay, we'll have something like this. So to be able to appreciate this properly, we will need to change the HDR that we have. So I'm going to just go ahead and click on the HDR image here. Click here and go into my HDR, my environment texture, and I'm going to click on open and go into my textures. I think I have HDR, so you can get HDR from images to light up a scene. It gives you more realistic scenes, so I'm going to bring that in. So if you look at right now, we have something more interesting. So we'll have this here. So with this here, we can make sure we go in here, make this alpha clip and alpha clip. Turn on this. So you have it becoming more transparent right now. So let's go for 1.5 and see what effect it's going to have on this. Okay, so we'll have something very much interesting there. like to reduce the intensity of the light of the background. So we'll have this appearing like this. So now let's work on this thing to make sure it's actually transparent as much as possible. So to be able to test that, I'm going to add a cube at the back. Now the transparency of Eevee, there is a way it actually works. It's not as accurate as that of cycles, so we're going to actually manipulate things here. So I'll drop this at the back and make this to be, let me change this to, I think I have a yellow material there, so that yellow material will be at the back. So I'm going to just drop that here, so make sure it's actually slim, and I'm going to drop another one at the back of this one, Shift D to drop this one back. So from here I'll select this and go down. So I would like this to be, we have made 0.1.5, so I'm going to increase this to 0.5, and let's reduce this a bit. So I think I have this, so you have something like this now that shows that it's transparent. Now if you look at it, it's not seeing this texture that we'll have here because of the nature of the thing we'll have here, that's Eevee. It has transparency issues, so we'll have this so you can be able to actually see what we have here. So I think I reduce my refraction, and if you increase this, what it will give you. So I have this here. I would like to make it much more. Let me see here. I have 1.5 here, and reduce the roughness. Not too much. I have something like this here. So I think this is transparent enough, so we have something that can see through, even to see this other shape that's actually behind this. This you can see also this one. So glasses cannot see this. It cannot see through to see the other glass here, at least for now, but in cycles we can do that. So right now I will quickly select this, and I'm going to just delete them for the meantime. So I want to work on backdrop. So right now I can just select this and move it out, and for my backdrop I'm just going to select this, but I'm going to use that yellow material and change it to just a white shape there. Call this my backdrop. Now depending on the kind of backdrop you want to create, so I'll press Shift D and rotate. Shift D to duplicate, rotate on the x-axis 90 degrees and push this back this way. So I have something like this here. So there are several ways of lighting your product, but I'm going to just use basic lighting here. So I'll just go ahead to design a very simple backdrop inside Inkscape. So I already have something here. I would like to use just something here. So I like using gradient backdrops, and I like designing it inside Inkscape. So I'll just drag this back bits to something square, and going to objects, going to fill and stroke, and here I'm going to use my gradient. So once I have a gradient, I have this here. So right now here is transparent, so what I'll tell it, I don't want it to be transparent. So this is alpha transparency, so you can just drag it and complete it. So with this you can change the color from here. Now this, when you're changing to actually be changing the color, you can change the color to whatever you want. Now if you want to select specific colors, you can just select here and select any color you want. Okay, this will actually give us the main color here, so I'm just going to go back here. I think we should have let me double click here to create a new one. So select this again and make sure that this is complete. I'm going to push this. So we have a blue colored water bottle, so I'm just going to go for a blue kind of thing here, and I'm just going to go for sky blue here, and then for this one I'm just going to go for, once I begin to go over here, the blue comes out. So just drag this. You just have to learn how to, as you are moving the RGB, you'll be seeing your colors. So I have to, let me drag this down so you see your blue there. So I'm going to bring this blue, select this one. I would like this to be something like this. So in the center I would like to have a purple, something like that. So I have a combination of colors here, so make sure it's actually not transparent by dragging to the edge here. So just drag this up, push this out to somewhere here. So I'll select that, make sure that these things are not transparent. They seem to be transparent, so bring them up. They should be as thick as possible. So I have about 4 colors there. Now I know it's looking terrible, but you see what I will do with it. So I'm just going to drag this down a bit. I think that blue is too thick, so I'll just select that and export, and selection, click here, and I'm going to use this as my backdrop. So I want this to be like a very stylish colored background. So I'm just going to select this one and click here at the yellow button there. I'm going to image texture, click on open, go to my textures, and put in the backdrop. So we'll have both of them right now here. So I would like to make this one to be a bit different. So we'll have something like this. So let me go ahead to actually light up the scene. So to light it up, I would like to reduce this completely. Let me just go to 0.6. I think this is okay. And I already have just one light, so I'm going to have my key light. I like to make my key light an area light that will be shining from this part to this place. So I have this here. The key light shines here. So one of the things I like doing, if you color this, you'll actually get something very interesting. So I have a blue color, so I will use a sky blue, and I think we'll have, let me go 5,000. I think that's too much. Let's go for 2,000. Okay, we'll have that there. Reduce the effect it has on specular, and then I'm going to shift D and bring this over to this place. So go into your point lights and reduce this. I will make this a point light. This will be my field light. So this is like a light that's be shining here, and it's going to be reducing the intensity, just like lighting up here. Alright, so if you look at here now, let me hide this. So you see here it's dark. So the work of the field light is actually just to light up dark parts with a bit light. So I'm just going to use 404. So I have something like this. If you hide it, you actually see the effect that it actually has on this place. So I will just make sure that I turn off the shadows for this, because we don't want to use shadows in this particular work that we're doing right now. So I'm just going to go face this, Control Alt 0 to lock my camera on this. Select my camera. I will change to 35. So I have something like this now. So now to make this even more interesting, if you look at here, look at custom distance. Let's change this to 2, so you actually see the effect that this has. So if you have 11, it just comes up gradually. So let me change this one, custom distance to, let me make it 1, so you see what's happening here. So we just have this coming up. So the backdrop can even be dark with that. So it's not going to be lightening up everything. So we want to reduce its intensity on it. So I'll press Shift D, and I'm going to use we have the key light, the fill light, and the rim light, so the light at the backdrop. So personally I like using a sort of colored light here, and let me use something big so you actually see. It's just a way of being able to light up the backdrop. And I will increase this, I will decrease the strength of this so that it will just light up the backdrop for me, so that there is this light, this glow at the backdrop here. So I like using that to pull out these designs from the back, from the background. So you can select any color you like, and you actually see it's penetrating through your design to make it look even more interesting. So depending on what you're looking for. So remember, we are looking for something. Let's go for something. I think this should be good somewhere here. So we'll have that. Save your work. And once you're done with that, we're going to go into animation very soon. So, but before that, make sure that you have everything. Let me just look at this. Turn off these two things here, and let's do a quick render and see what this will look like when we are done. So click on this render, click on render, use the viewport render for the meantime, so it will be very fast. Viewport render image, so it gives us a very fast render. So we'll have something like this. So if we'll do a real render, it will be far better. So I'm going to do a real render right now. So why I want to do real render, because I want us to do a bit of compositing on this particular work, so that we can be able to add some layer effects on this our design. So remember that whenever you're done with this, you can always save this as your render. You can click here at image, click on save as, and if I go back here, my renders, I can just go and call this my water bottle 1. So I'm going to just save this here. So that's how you save images that you have rendered, if you want to save them. So but we're going to escape here and go into your compositing. Now we haven't done animation yet, but we want to just composite this scene as a static design that we want to give to a client. So hold control and shift and click on this. Now if this doesn't work on your own, I'm pressing V right now. If this doesn't come out on your own, it means that you should go into edit, go into preference, and go into find Wrangler, turn on this add-on. Okay, if it's not working, so just turn on this add-on. You should be able to, well, once you press Ctrl Shift and click, it will give you this here. So I have this here. So I would like to do some little color grading on this, just slightly. So I'll use my color here and use my RGB curve and drop this here and drop this here. So if you look at here now, if I decrease this, I have something darker. If I go up, I have something brighter. So I would like to bring it down a bit here. Go into my red and let's reduce the red. I have the green here. That will make it greeny. I don't like that. So let's drag this down here. So another thing I would like to add here, we can add a lot of things. So but some other thing I would like to add here to make this look interesting. Let me see. I can add let me add a vector. I think that's not going to do something. Let me just add a filter to make it glow a bit. Let me see here. I'm going to add a glare. Let me see what glare will do here. So just hope the glare will not be too much for our scene. So just bring it in. So we'll have something shiny there. So that's just an example of things you could do. So but you just have to put some more thoughts into your compositing on the kind of effects you actually want to create. If not, the normal render can do a lot of things for you already. So I'll just make this to be high so that I can reduce this glow that I have here, and it's actually 3 now. So just take it down to 3 streaks, and it's loading here. So once you're done with that, you can just do, I think the 4 is okay, and this medium is actually good. So you can just render it finally, and then you can be able to export that. But if you don't like that, you can just simply leave it at this design that we actually have here. And that's the major thing we have for this particular compositing. So you can keep working on it to be able to actually make it look more interesting if you have a particular look you're actually going for. So but in the next video, when we'll start doing the animation, we will be able to work on that and make it look more interesting than what we have here.